All right, so let's go ahead and get started. The purpose of the webinar is really to bring clarification to the process that we're working on right now. Most of you are in a waiting pattern right now. Basically, you're waiting for college acceptances to come in. Most of you are just wondering, what should we be doing? Are there things that we should know about? And want to bring you up to speed with where we are in the process, what needs to happen over the next few months, and things that you need to send over to our office in order for us to process the information to the schools in a timely manner. So let's talk about first on the timeline. This is the agenda that I'm going to go over in today's webinar. And we're going to go all the way from January up until August of this year. So first thing that we're doing right now is we're submitting the Fafsas, which is the necessary form in order to receive any type of financial aid. So that's the first thing that we're doing right now. Those of you who have already sent over the PIN numbers with the power of attorney, basically that allows us to use your electronic PIN numbers on your behalf. So some of you, we're still waiting to get those. The ones that we do have on file, we're already processing the forms for you. Real quick, a PIN number is basically your electronic signature. So you're going to have the form submitted and you're going to sign it electronically. We're doing it for you, which is why we need to have the limited power of attorney on record. And we'll go ahead and make sure that those are processed for you. Not everybody is going to need the CSS profile. This is only for certain private schools. So if we haven't mentioned to you that we need to submit your CSS profile, that's because your student hasn't applied to any schools that require it. So as you're following along in today's presentation, I'll let you know if the information is pertains to CSS profile or to Fafsa. Everybody, though, will have a Fafsa, so that's going to be relevant for everybody. Then we're going to get into February. Some of you will get your W-2s by that time, or some of you will wait to get your 1099s and your K-1s a little bit later. The first thing that I want to recommend that you do is file your tax returns electronically. The reason why I suggest that is it'll be easier for me to link your information with the IRS, and all the colleges will give you your final awards once they have the link to the IRS. So I'm going to be doing that for you. It gets expedited if you could file electronically. Check emails from the schools. This is a big thing. So I want to encourage all of you to make sure that your students are checking their emails at least once a day. The schools will send some very important information. Anything that has to do with financial aid. For example, if the school sends you an email and they say, we need you to submit this document in addition to the Fafsa, please, please, please forward that to us so that we can take care of it for you. Anything that has to do with the financial aid process that comes from the school, make sure that you're checking your emails and you send it to us. Portals need to be set up. So if a college is sending you a link to sign up for a portal that they have on the college's website, your student needs to do that. The reason why is that's how the college is going to communicate with your student to make sure that all of the relevant information is being sent to your student. They need to check those portals frequently. I'd suggest about once a day. So those are free portals. You just set them up through the school. The school gives you your own username and password, and those are done on the college's website. It's called a portal. Then we're going to get into March. I'm going to be doing the IRS data retrieval tool for you. So basically, I'm going to be linking your Fafsa to the IRS system, and the information will be extracted from that site. I'll put it onto the Fafsa. That's what the colleges will need in order to finalize your financial aid awards. I'm going to go over tax transcripts. Not everybody needs to order this from the IRS, only if you're prompted to by the college. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Complete verification worksheets. if necessary. Not every family is going to need to complete a verification worksheet, but if you do, it's definitely necessary that we fill it out and send it in on time. IDoc. This is the Institutional Documentation Service. This is actually administered through the College Board. So the same College Board that administers the SAT, the AP tests, they are a service for the universities where they are going to process the financial information for the private universities that need additional documents. If you do get an email from the College Board or from IDoc, that is something that we need to fill out and send in to the schools. It does require the parent's signature and the student's signature on the IDoc. So for those of you who do receive this notification that we need to complete the IDoc for your schools, before you send that to us, we need to have you sign it so that it's a completed form. Once we have it here, we'll go ahead and put it together for you with the cover sheet, and then we'll need you to send it off to the school. So what we will do here is prepare all the material for you in-house on the IDoc. We'll let you know exactly how to send it, where to send it, and it's going to be a joint effort for us to complete these together. That takes us into April. This is the fun time. This is when you start to get all the rest of your acceptance letters. And usually about the same time when you get your acceptance letters, you're going to get your financial aid award letters as well. Some of you who have been accepted to a college already or a university, you might have received an offer of scholarship. That is your merit aid scholarship that the schools are willing to give you. That is usually calculated over a 4-year period. So if you have received an acceptance letter and you did get some merit scholarship with it, you still have to wait until about April to get your final award letter, which will include any grants, work study, and loans that they'll include into that award letter. If you haven't received an offer of admissions yet to a school, don't worry. This is totally normal. The normal time frame for everything is going to be in April to find out from all the rest of your schools where you're accepted. In April, I'm going to be meeting with each family individually so that I can look over all the awards that your colleges provide you with. So we're going to get together, me and the family. We're going to talk about all the schools that you're accepted to. We're also going to take a look at all the financial aid awards. If I notice that one of the colleges that you were accepted to maybe gave you a little bit less money than what you're actually eligible for, I'm going to let you know, and I'm going to start to do the appeal process for you. These are the only circumstances here that will trigger a appeal process or a reevaluation. So anytime you hear me mention reevaluation or appeal, it has to do with one of these 3 things. If you don't fall in one of these 3 categories, we won't be able to do an appeal for you. So if I identify that the school gave you the wrong amount of money that you should be eligible for, then we can go ahead and start the appeal. If you have high medical expenses that are not covered by your insurance carrier, and by the way, the medical expenses do not include premiums, all right? These are just out-of-pocket expenses, prescription drugs, hospital stay, braces, dentist bills, anything that has to do along those lines would be considered medical expenses. If you had a loss or reduction of income, this will also trigger an appeal or a reevaluation. I will be helping you with this. Finally, college visits. This is the best time to visit the school one last time before you make your final decision to attend that university, because now we're going into May. May 1st is the National Commitment Day. That's the day that your student is going to let the school know which university or college they want to attend. Usually in May, you're going to send in a housing and enrollment deposit. It differs for every school, but on average, a housing and enrollment deposit is going to be right around $500 to $600. So just be prepared for that. Some schools will want you to get that in to lock in the dorms of choice for your student. So this is all about the time frame that you're going to need to do that. Now we get into June. All the way between June and August is when I'm going to be walking families through the loan process. For those of you who do decide to take out a loan, we're going to go through the parent and student loan process. I'm not going to cover this today on the webinar. I'm really just going to go over the other elements of all the other months that we just covered. But eventually, for those of you who are going to be borrowing for college, I'm going to walk you through this process on how to register for the loans and how to get them sent to the schools. All right, so that goes over the timeline. I'm going to be covering a lot of information in a short period of time. This is going to be recorded. I'm actually recording it right now, so if you want to go back and listen to it, you're more than welcome to. I'll send you the link to it. Please hold off on questions until I get to the end. But feel free if you need a little bit of help along the way, if you want to just type in something in the question bar. If I get a chance to answer it while I'm doing the presentation, I'll do my best to do that. All right. So first site that I want everybody to go to. Now, understand that not everybody is going to be eligible for the Cal Grant, which is a need-based grant. I'm still going to encourage you to go to this website. So mygrantinfo.csac.ca.gov. What you're going to do is just sign up for an account here, create an account here. This is actually how you're going to navigate through the Cal Grant process. For example, if you initially put that UC Riverside is the school that you're going to attend, but ultimately you're going to be going to UC Santa Cruz. On this website, you can go ahead and change the school that will be the recipient of your Cal Grant. So it's very important that you set this up now. Other than that, I'll be filing the Fafsa forms for you in order to get you qualified for this Cal Grant. But this is a necessary step. Go ahead and take this down and make an account for it. And then make sure that you're keeping all of your passwords in a secure space so that if you need to log back into this, you can. Yes, Jim, that's only for California residents. Sorry about that. Some of you on the webinar are from different states, Arizona, North Carolina. This Cal Grant really just has to do with California residents. Sorry about that, Jim. All right, so this is Web Grants for College. Anytime you hear me talk about Cal Grant or managing your Cal Grant account, this is the website to go to. All right, now for those of you who are having a hard time getting onto the PIN or the Fafsa website, the correct website that you're going to go to is fafsa.gov. And if you want help on how to get your PIN on the Fafsa home screen here, you just go to PIN site. So at the very top, right here, PIN site, click that, and it'll take you right here. And you can just go ahead and apply now. Some of you have already done that, so you don't need to do it again. What I will mention is we need one PIN number for the parent and one PIN number for the student. All right, so going back down from our timeline, CSS Profile Submission, those are for certain private schools. For those of you who applied early action, we would have already submitted your CSS profile. For all the other deadlines, they're coming up either tomorrow for the CSS profile or this February 1st are the upcoming deadlines for that. So all of those are already in if you have a deadline coming up. Next, we go into February. Now, if a school needs you to send them a tax transcript, I pulled up the IRS website here. It's a free report that you get from the IRS, okay? So basically, if you want to just go to the irs.gov website and in the search box you can put in tax transcript. It should take you to this page. If you want to jot down some of this information, you can actually order it online, or you can go and call them to get the tax transcript. This is only if a school actually needs it. Most of the time they won't, because I'm going to be linking your Fafsa to the IRS. If for whatever reason the college does need a tax transcript, it usually takes a couple days. So this is where you're going to go in order to order it, and it is free. You don't have to pay for it. So that takes care of tax transcript. Complete verification worksheets. The way that you could understand how the verification worksheets work is, think of it as, once we submit the information to the school has put aside this block of money for your family. They basically are saying, okay, here's the amount of money that we're able to give to this family. But before we do that, we just need to be 100% sure that all the information that was provided is 100% accurate. So what they're going to have you do is fill out a verification worksheet, which is going to look something like this. I just pulled one up online. So this one is for the University of Cincinnati. They're going to look pretty much all the same. If any of you need help filling this out, you could bring it to my office. I could help you fill it out. For the most part, this is what it's going to look like. It's very straightforward. Basically, you just put the student information here, social security number, address, date of birth, so on. This is what they're really looking at. What's the name of everybody in the household? What's the relationship? And then if any other student in the household will be attending a college or university, you're going to put that name of the college or university there. If not, then you leave this part blank. So this is what a dependent verification worksheet is. Part of it is going to ask about students' income. Most families, in most situations, the student won't have income, so you'll just put 0 here. But if you do have income, you're going to want to check the correct boxes. This is called the dependent verification worksheet. This is a necessary document that we have to fill out and send into the school in order for them to finalize your financial aid award. So again, that's part of the reason why you want to check your emails every day in case the schools do want us to send this in. It'll be a link in that email. Go ahead and download it, fill it out, or if you want to bring it in to me, I could help you fill it out for you, and then we'll send it into the school. Typically, they're going to ask for this form in March, once they've processed your Fafsa information. Okay, IDOC. This is for private universities. Like I said, this is actually administered through the College Board. The College Board will gather all the documents. I'm just going to say, for example, Carnegie Mellon. Let's say that they needed information about the family to just verify documents. This is what the IDOC cover sheet looks like. You'll notice that there's a column here for the parents' information, and then right next to it, there's a column for the students' information. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be bubbling in the relevant information that we're going to be sending in. This is a cover sheet. So we're going to bubble in, for example, if we're sending in your full tax return with the schedules, we're going to bubble in for the parent here, and we're going to include the tax return with this cover sheet. This form, this document, the IDOC cover sheet, needs to be completely filled out in its entirety before we send it in to the College Board address here. What the College Board does is they process the information and they send it to each university that needs this information. So if Carnegie Mellon or if USC, whatever the case is, if they need information, they're going to go through the IDOC system. And so this is what we're going to need to fill out for the university. If you do get it, feel free to bring it in. I could help you fill it out. Or if you want to fill it out yourself, by all means, you can do that as well. But I just want to give you an idea. this is what the actual cover sheet is going to look like. This is out of date, obviously. The iDoc cover sheet for this year will be available after February 1st of 2015. Just to give you a reference point of what to look out for. This is what it looks like. All right, acceptance letters, award letters, appeals. That's on a case-by-case basis. I really, if you feel that I need to know about medical expenses now, I prefer that you get that over to me sooner than later so I can start preparing an appeal for you. But if you don't fall in that category, but maybe one of the other components do exist, like a loss of income or something like that, that is relevant, I'll need to start preparing an appeal for you. The next thing that we're going to look at is, this was actually another one that I wanted to show everyone. This is actually for the iDoc, something that we'll fill out in addition to the cover sheet. This is also a dependent verification worksheet that iDoc uses, similar to the last one that I showed you here. But this is just the one that iDoc uses. And so it keeps it really simple. It's kind of like the common application. So we could do it once to the iDoc, and then the iDoc sends it out to each university that needs that information. Give me one sec here. I have a question. Does everyone always get an iDoc cover sheet and verification worksheet, or is it a random sampling of students? People who get an iDoc, it's only for certain cases. So think of it as if you're going to be eligible for receiving financial aid, and it's a big amount, the colleges are going to just verify everything before they actually award you financial aid. So if you do get flagged for an iDoc, that could actually be a good thing. That's part of the reason why we want to make sure that we get it into them in a timely manner. But not everybody gets flagged for it. It could be just happenstance that they wanted to verify with your family. Going a little bit further, National Commitment Day. It would be a good idea if you already know which school you want to attend ahead of time, to let the other schools know that you were accepted to. Let them know that you won't be attending. It's just good protocol because, as you can imagine, there are other students that might be on a wait list that would fill in your spot to a school that you have no intention of going to anyway. So I do get a lot of those questions every year is, should we let the other schools know? Simply just, if you do decide that you're not going to attend that school, you could just send the admissions office an email and just let them know, thank you, but I found somewhere else that I'll be attending. All the other components beyond this will be on a case-by-case basis, and I'm going to be meeting with each family individually so that we can go over this together. But for the most part, these were just the general things that I wanted everybody to be keyed in on. For example, when you hear the term tax transcript, now you know it's as simple as just going to the IRS website and you can order it online. It takes about 3 days to get. Verification worksheets, very straightforward. They just fill out the names of the family members. Here, we'll sign it, make sure that the social security number for the student's on there, and we'll send it in. And then I think the most important thing is being on the lookout for any iDoc or verification emails. Go ahead and let me know if you want us to help you fill that out. More than happy to. And this is an important website for you to go to. Hopefully, most of you can do that tonight. Just get registered here. And that is basically the entire webinar that I wanted to go over in terms of what we're going to be looking at for the next few months. Once your Fafsa is submitted, you are going to be receiving an email letting you know that the Fafsa is in process, and the schools will actually be processing that within 72 hours. For those of you families who have more than 10 schools that you're applying to, The way that I'm going to be submitting your FAFSA is I'm only able to put in 10 schools in the first round of submission, so that the FAFSA goes in with only 10 schools. If you apply to, let's say, 14 schools, then I'm going to wait 72 hours once the information is processed, the schools have it. I'll go back into your FAFSA, delete the 10 schools that we already submitted, and then add the other ones after that. Resubmit so that the schools can process that information for you. This is all done in sequence. So the reason why we're getting all the forms in now is so that a lot of the grants are on a first come, first served basis. Just be sure to look out for portals that you need to set up. Those are extremely important. Portals will give you all the relevant information on what needs to happen next. You can share that with us in the office and we'll help you get through the next step. That's going to be it. I'm going to stop the recording now, and then I'm going to open it up for some questions right now. Thanks so much for joining. I hope that this was helpful. If you have some other questions, we can always schedule a meeting together, or if you just want to shoot us an email, we'll be able to help you out. All right. Thanks for joining. Blah, blah, blah. And then I did.